Hi folks, this video is not intended for entertainment. This is going to be a tutorial about how I gather audio. I'm constantly improving my methods with this audio gathering hobby of mine. So this is just a how I do things at the time of the making of this video. A few of you have reached out to me and suggested that I do a short tutorial on audio gathering and Audacity. So maybe someone just starting out can adopt a few of these methods. When I first started out, I would have greatly appreciated some of these tips, as they would have saved me countless hours. So the first thing I did was I got myself a middle-of-the-road recorder. Not the most expensive one, but not the cheapest either. My minimum requirements were that it had to have at least 128 kilobytes per second for recording quality. And absolutely it must have a USB interface to connect to my laptop. I live in bear country, and they will sniff and chew anything that smells human, so I started hanging my recorders up high out of their reach. This upside down configuration also works well to keep them from getting wet. I used a hole drill that was just a hair smaller than my recorder was wide for the hole, and I had to work the drill a bit to get it to fit snug. The one I used was a 1 3/8 inch. I didn't want to drill the hole too big or it would just fall out. I used a permanent marker to mark the nail hole so I could see where to stick the nail when retrieving it. That's another lesson best learned the hard way. If you're like me and you like to leave these out for 36 to 42 hours at a time, you're not going to want to put those giant files into your laptop. You should first divide the files up into sections no larger than 12 hours each. So what you do, this recording here obviously isn't that long, but let's just say I'm fast forwarding until these numbers say 12 hours. Then what I do is I press the menu button, then I go to File, Divide, and press OK, and go to Start. I'm not going to do that right now, but you get the idea. But then continue, then hit Stop, and then go to the next one, and then continue so on and so forth until there's no file left on here that's larger than 12 hours. Then you can connect to your laptop. Then you're in business. Now that I've got my file up and on my laptop right there, onto my desktop right there, I'm going to go over here to this little thing right here. I got a little file here. And what it is, open it up. It's got two little files in here. Each one of these are 10-second clips of complete silence that I use for my sound reduction profile. I went through great lengths to make sure that this room was completely noise free. I took all the clocks out. I did it in the winter time when there's nobody around. So what I do then is I take a little selection here, and then I go up to Effect. And now I go down to Noise Reduction. And I like to have real subtle settings, which is decibel 6, sensitivity I put on 4, frequency smoothing 3, and noise reduce. And then I use Get Noise Profile. Left click on that. Now that profile is in Audacity's memory until I close this project. So even if I get rid of this, so I'm going to get rid of this now, don't need it anymore. We don't need to have that. Audacity will remember that profile, and I will, if I have something that I want to reduce, I have some sound reduction, then I'll use that profile. That's really important. I should do an entire video on that sometime, but I'm just telling you how I do things for now. So now that I've got the noise reduction profile memorized. I'm going to click and drag my file. Okay, now these steps are important because right now you should be in a frame of mind where anything you do can cause Audacity to crash because the file you just put in there is just huge. It's huge. So the biggest mistake you can make is to go and create this. This is automatically comes out in waveform form by default, waveform, and it's easy to display. Audacity has no problem with that. What takes a lot of computing space and memory is converting to spectrogram. And you don't want to convert all 14 hours of spectrogram right away until you zoom in first. So here's the steps I do. I use Control F to go left to right full screen. So that's the entire file from 0 to 14 hours there. Left to right. And then I want to click and expand this. So I click and drag the bottom part down so I can maximize my viewer. Then this middle part here, I want to click and drag that down. So now I'm looking at one big thick screen. Now, here's the important part. Now I got to go up here to this little magnifying glass. Up here. Now this will zoom in on the x-axis, the time. So for a 14-hour file, I would suggest hitting that 9 times. So here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I do that and then I just wait. See, it'll say not responding, and it might do that for a little while. That's okay. Just let it be. Ooh, that was quick. That's quicker than normal. You don't want to convert to spectrogram yet until you zoom in. Now I want to go over here to this little down arrow right here and click on that. I'm going to go down and click on spectrogram. Boom, there we go. We're on spectrogram. And now as long as I got this camera loose, I'm going to talk about the y-axis over here. 0 to 8,000 hertz. That's a little too much. Most of our stuff, if I see, is going to be anything significant, is going to be down here between 0 and 1. And all this up here is wasted unless you hear something, a stick crack or a sharp snap or something walking. Then you might see little spikes way up high, or like birds singing will be way up here. But for the most part, I don't need to see that. I want to be able to zoom in down here. So what I do is I put my pointer down as close to 0.0 as possible, and I right click on that. I go to zoom in. And I like to go cruise at about, and that always takes me to 2.1 hertz, but I like to get it back to an even number like 3,000. So now I'm at 2.1, so I have to add 0.9K to get to 3. So I hover the pointer over 0.9, and then I right click there and zoom out. And it does the addition for me, and I'm at 0 to 3,000 hertz over here on the left. Now I'm just going to hit the space bar to start the playhead. I'm going to get my computer volume up to about 40. And the gain here I like to put at about 15, so that if I do find something significant, if I try to save it, it's at a good volume to where it can be heard. Okay, now we're rolling now. So now if you notice down here, these numbers represent where I'm rolling up here. Over here, these little numbers are my selection. And that's if I touch in the middle of the body over here, See, I'm left clicking in different spots on here, and that changes the selection on here. I'll show you where that comes in handy later. And what else you want to do, go back over here to the playhead, this little upside down triangle. Click on that. You want to make sure enable quick play is checked. And what that does is this. I can just touch anywhere up here in the timeline, and it goes right to that spot. I'll see what that does here. If I touch way over here in the right, it zips me to the next screen. Why that's important is because I skip over a lot of this stuff. All this down here, it's a lot of noise. This might be like a, check this out. You hear that low rumble? That's a passenger jet way up high. Nothing to see here. Now there might be some distant knocks or gunshots buried in there, but if you can't really visibly see it, if I can't visibly see it, it's really not worth making note of anyhow, so I just skip by them. So what I did there is I tapped up here at my upper right again. I don't see anything on here worthy of looking at. Tapping again. Skipping again. So now we've got some. So you should look for something that stands out. Now I can either press the space bar to stop everything, and then I touched the screen over here, so now I change the playhead position. So if I hit the space bar, I start from there and stop. Space bar again, starts from there again. Or I can touch up here at the top to start playing and just use the space bar to stop. So the reason I stopped there is because I got some strange stuff to listen to here. Sounded like a knock. Hear that? Listen. That might be a knock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that playhead there, and I'm going to use my quick play to continue on. If I keep, I might actually just ignore that if I don't hear anything more, because it's really nothing to write home about. But if I find a bunch more, that's where it all started. That's my first little sign of something's going on that's out of the ordinary. But so that was at 14. So we're going to continue on here. This right here is a car going down the gravel fire lane. The fire lane, the recorder was about 2/10 of a mile off of the fire lane in the Chequamegon National Forest in northern Wisconsin. So that's what you'll see those on your spectrogram all the time. Here's that little click. I did a video, actually my last video was Tactical Sound Mastery. or they wait for loud noises in their environment to mask their own sounds. That could be just a little chunk of gravel that was stuck in the tread of the tire, coming loose and then hitting the wheel well of the vehicle. Nothing to write home about. Nothing to write home about. Skipping over that. I'm just going to start skipping really quick here now. Again, I'm touching way over here in the upper right. Skipping. 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 Every time you hear a break in the audio there, that's me skipping to the next screen. As you can see, I'm already a half an hour into it. I've already skipped by. We got a long ways to go though. It's almost a 14-hour recording. There's an overhead jet again. A little short. Something's walking around. Something, I don't know. A little mouse. See that right there? I don't know what that is. Oh, you hear that? Moth wings. Little flyby. You might not be able to hear that. Okay, that was right on the edge. I didn't get a chance to see that. It happens once in a while. We're gonna back up here a second. Oh, right there. This recording happened on the 1st of September, so this is still acorn falling season. So a lot of these acorns are still falling, and there's oak trees that were close by. Yep, that's an acorn. Acorn. Something walking around. To check that out again. Small critter of some kind. Again, each time you hear that break in the hiss, that's me left clicking at the upper right part over there to advance to the next screen. And we got something right here I want to listen to, so I'm going to touch right up here and skip to it. Owl. Got a little vertical little. Sometimes that's something walking maybe, or see, this thing can really hear a pin drop. So you don't miss much doing this. Next. So now we got some, I think these are owls. Barred owl. Yeah. Skipping. We're already at an hour and a half into it. Would be a lot faster too if I didn't have to explain everything. this now? That, you hear that? Sounds like a watch being wound. That's just a glitch from my Olympus audio recorder. It's been doing that ever since I bought it. Every 5 minutes. It's very annoying. These are loons. Okay, another note. I'm going to make a note here about mimicry. Sure, yeah, it could be mimicry, but for me, it's just a waste of time, and I need to hear definitive proof if something is definitely not what it appears to be. I take everything at face value. If you do this long enough, you're going to find you don't have to like guess if it's mimicry or not. You're going to be able to find stuff that's definite. You don't have to mess around with is it mimicry or isn't it. Just take everything. Well, I this is just the way I do it. I take everything at face value. And I know that I have first-hand knowledge of this location, and I know that there's a small, unnamed lake that's about a quarter of a mile away from the recorder through the woods. So it's very possible that these are just loons. That is the call of a loon that's sitting on the water, or at least not flying. Now this one here, see how it drops down? I think that's a barred owl, I think. Yeah, barred owl. Here, I got some. This is a definite signature of a barred owl caterwauling. I can tell just by looking at it. That and a glitch. That glitch has got some bad timing. Here's a glitch again. Yeah, it's a bad. Sounds like another passenger jet going overhead. I think we got another owl here. Owl. I usually don't listen to those, but I am, just for the sake that taking you along with for the ride. We're already 2 hours in. If this was just me, I would have been done with this whole file already. Assuming there's nothing on here, of course. Now this file I started at about 9 p.m. So it's about 11 o'clock in the evening. And somebody's driving what is this? This is a large truck of some kind going down the fire lanes in the middle of the night. So that's a monster truck. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's weird. Okay, we got some stuff over here to check this out. I bet you these are moth wings. Skipping. Okay, here's I usually skip by this stuff because I can tell just by looking at the spectrogram, the signature on it, this is a barred owl. Okay, but skip. Then we got some interesting looking spikes down here at the bottom. Skip over to here. What are these? Oh, you know what that is? Those are moth wings. Right next to the recorder. Here's some good stuff right over in here. I'll skip over to this. That'll freak you out if you don't know what that is. There's a moth right on the recorder, and its wings, or a June bug or something. But I'm going to hit the space bar here and stop, and I'm going to set the playhead right here, because I see this little vertical line right there, and I think I know this is a knock rather than a gunshot, because it's actually stronger up and away from the lower frequencies, which is not what a gunshot would do. And it's got a little break in it. See how it's like dark, and it's got a break, and then it's dark again. Yep, hear it? Sounds like there's 3 of them, like a ka-chuck-tuck. Yeah, that's definitely an eyebrow raiser. Not worthy of a video, but I'm going to make note of it. So what I do is I've got Microsoft Notepad down here, ready to roll. And we're going to start a note. You can actually do this with paper too, but I like having the digital copy. So I'm going to write down the timestamp. And that is 2:08:59. See that right there? That's the timestamp of this. I'm going to go 02:08:59. KN stands for knock. I'm going to go Control S to save it to my desktop, and I'm going to give it a name. What date? This is the 1st of September, so 9/1. Save. Okay. Now I can just minimize this, and it'll be down here at the ready the next time I hear something. So we're just going to start skipping ahead again. Moth wings. Moth wings are pretty prolific to about right here. Oh, now he's gone. Skip ahead. Okay, we've got another vertical. I think that might be, that's something there. But I think these here are maybe loons or owls. Yeah, those are loons. That's an owl and then a loon. And a mouse. Owl, loon, and a mouse. Hear that squeaking? It's a veritable zoo out there. Yeah, it's squeaking of a mouse or something. Okay, we've got some, maybe an owl. That's a barred owl. Looks like our moth is back. Now what's this? Oh, this is what we're looking for. Is this stuff over here? Sounds like a moth is on the microphone. This is what we're looking for over here. Okay, that is not an acorn. Not an acorn. So what I did was I clicked on the main body just before that so that I can, these numbers are now visible. Bring my notepad back up and I'm going to go 0, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. KN for knock. Control plus S to save. And I'm going to minimize that and just start playing again. I should say that when I'm going to bring these timestamps back up. When I'm done with the entire file, I can go back to this notepad and I can actually just punch in these numbers down here and then hit the space bar. And it'll take me right to it, just like that. Suppose I should have explained that a little better. That moth will not go away. Okay, we're almost 3 hours in and we got some funny business going on here. Yeah, it is. That's a barn owl. That's a barn owl. Got some funny business over here. Sounds like a hunting hound, like a bear hound. Sounds like a bear hound. But this is at midnight. And we got some stuff over here too I want to check out. Over here. I'm going to touch just above there. Did you hear that? Now to the uninitiated, how much does that sound like chest slapping? Now, put your mind there, like you're at the zoo and looking at and watching a big silverback. But that's not what it is. You know what it is? You see these little hoo 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 before it. If somebody can really do a little mental pareidolia and say that's very primate-like sounds before chest slapping. Here, listen to it again. You know what that is? Those are geese. Now, geese make those slapping sounds when they're taking off from water. Their wingtips, as they get up to speed, start flapping on the water, and they make those sounds. And I forget, these are not Canadian. Canadian geese don't make these sounds. I don't know if these are trumpeter swans or. Maybe somebody could help me out in the comment section below. We got some more here. Hear that? That's definitely geese. That's a smoking gun. Does somebody want to comment about what kind of geese those are in the comments below? That would be cool. Anyhow, see how easy that would be to get sucked into thinking those were chest slaps. There's a great horned owl back there. No, that's not a barred owl. Got some more of these little things are out of the ordinary. These little darker spots. Yeah, check them out. Geese, or trumpeter swans, whatever they are. Oh, missed something back there. Gotta back up here a minute. This right here. Owl. Owl. Ooh, something bright over here. I bet you this is a loon. An owl. And a loon. I'm just going to sample one of these. Owl. Got two different kinds of owls here. Two different kinds of owls chirping away at the same time. Oh, owls are getting a little closer. Classic barred owl. Don't even need to listen to them. You just sample one, skip by the rest. That looks a little different. This looks a little different here. Right here. That's a caterwauling barred owl. What do we got here? More caterwauling. I'm going to zoom into that and show you. You hear a lot of these. Yeah, right in the middle. I'll put the playhead right in the middle of it so that when I zoom in, 1, 2, kind of give you the, that's a signature of a caterwauling barred owl. Starts out real high. Alright, we're going to zoom back out. Tree frog. You hear that? Tree frog. Couple little vertical marks right here. I don't know what that was, either knocks or acorn falling. No, not sure about that. More caterwauling. Next. See, I think this is a passenger jet overhead. If it was a car, you'd see the spikes going way up. But it's directly overhead, so it's a little bit louder than the other ones. With a glitch. That almost sounds like a prop. Like a cargo. Like a C-330. I don't know. There's that jet again. Tree frog. We're 6 hours in. Something click. Loon. Something clicked next to the recorder there. All kinds of strange little falling, snapping sounds in the woods. Breaking through the vegetation. We're already 6 hours in here. There's another high altitude jet. Check this out here. There is a knock. Hear a thump on the ground after it hits something. Could that be an acorn? Sure. Borderline though. Yeah. Another acorn. This one here looks pretty prominent. There's something in the leaf litter below. Seven hours in. Yeah, this looks pretty sketchy. That is another aircraft, probably propeller driven. Owl. Acorn, most likely. I'm pretty picky about that kind of stuff. I mean, when the good stuff happens, you don't have to like push the narrative when the good stuff happens. It speaks for itself. So oh, skipped ahead too far. Got some barred owls here, but got a potential something here. Right there. Check it out. Distant knock. Huh. Is that a knock and then another knock? Answer? Yeah. Distant knock and then a closer one, higher pitch. That's what I call a knock answer. Interesting. Interesting. We're going to make note of that. 080511. 00511. Knock answer. Barred owls. Okay. These are all barred owls. This little, I'm going to check this out here though. Acorn, most likely. We're 8 hours in. Barred owls. I'll sample one of these. And this mess here. Good caterwauling. We got moth wings. We got barred owls caterwauling. Bunch of craziness. Owls. We are 8.5 hours in. There's a loon. Go over here. These are, see the tail down, like a tear down? Yeah, those are owls, barred owl calls. Single hoots. I'm gonna sample one of these. Yeah. More owls. These look a little different, so I'm gonna sample one of them. All owls. Barred owl, I believe. Tree frog. Oh, that's a fancy tree frog. We got an overhead jet. High altitude jet overhead. Some acorns falling. Acorn falling. Some fancy tree frogs. Can we get some low stuff over here? Distant vehicle. Okay, yeah, so we're getting some morning. This file started at 9 p.m., so we're almost 9 hours into it. So this is about 6 o'clock in the morning we're looking at here. But it's in September, so September you don't really hear a lot of bird song in the morning. Chickadee. No, that's a chipmunk. And an acorn. Some kind of fly. Another vehicle on the highway. Highway is about 5 miles away. 4 or 5. 9 hours in. I'm gonna back up there. Just missed something before I hit the skip button. This right here. This right here. Check this out. I have no idea what that was. Is that a woodpecker? That's weird. I don't know if that's a woodpecker. It sounds a little soft. Almost sounds like breathing or a snarl. Ha. Chickadee. Some kind of known bird. I think that was like a woodpecker of some kind. I don't know my exact bird sounds. I probably know about 30 or 40 in my area, but I know what every one of the normal bird sounds like. I don't know how to name every one of them. I can name quite a few though. No ornithologist. Yeah, that's a woodpecker and a bird in the foreground. That's a known bird, and that's a woodpecker. I think that's like a chickadee or a nuthatch or something. We got a passenger jet overhead. Woodpecker. We're going to check this out. This is the kind of stuff that you're really looking for. Once you know it, the glitch happens right over it. That glitch has got the worst timing. We got like three things going on at the same time. We got the glitch, we got some sticks being broken, and we get that low frequency droning, or it sounds almost too low for a woodpecker. Okay, ignore the stick breaking, which might be significant for now, and ignore the glitch and just listen to that low thing. Okay, let's listen to that tree limb busting or something. It could be an acorn. That could be a distant woodpecker pounding on a really old punky tree. Now I'll stop that for a second. Got something to show you. Just because they're side by side. Okay, this is the one we just listened to here. And here's authentic woodpecker that I'm sure is a woodpecker. See how much higher that is? Up on the scale. Higher on the y-axis than this over here. Yeah, I'm skeptical that this one here is a woodpecker, but I need to hear more. Certainly raises a single eyebrow. Okay, that'll raise an eyebrow too. That's a knock. Fly, bird, bird, skipping. We're 9.5 hours in. Blue jay. Glitch. Something right next to the microphone. Hitting the leaf litter below. This here looks like it could be something. Something flying right next to the microphone. Got some stuff over here. Busy woodpecker. I don't know what those is. That could be a loon. I'm not sure. That looks awful strange. Check this out. We're 10 hours in. Yeah, those are loons. Those are that's their... They could be on the water making those, or they could be flying. They make those sounds when they're flying. Is it a raven? This down here looks like it's a jet. More like a Cessna. No, it's a jet. Okay, I'm going to back up here a second. I think I missed something. This right here. Yeah, what was that? Big thud. It could be a 12 gauge. Distant 12 gauge. Okay, we're going to stop this file. Starting file for 4. Blue jays, lone birds. You'll soon realize anything up here is going to be birds, and you're just going to get sick of checking on it. And what you're really looking for are stuff down here between 0 and 1 that is connected, contiguous, all the way down to the infrasound barrier. Whether it be a knock or a vocal, most of your significant unknown force being sounds are going to have that characteristic to them for some reason. So the only reason I'm checking on these is to show you. Otherwise, I'd have been done with this file a long time ago. Little woodpecker tapping away. Yeah. No, that seems a little excessive for an acorn, doesn't it? Blue jay, frog, knock. There's an awful lot going on there. Sounds like it's ricocheting. I'm going to start covering some ground here. I'm going to start skipping this stuff, as you will probably learn to do. This one's kind of somewhat connected. Something walking. Sounded like a footstep and then maybe a little breath. Weird. What are these? Loons. Those are flying. Sounds like we got some quads. Quads running the trails. And here they are. I'm gonna spare you the noise. I'll go right to the end of it. Look how quiet everything is for a good half hour after that happens. I'm going to check this out. Acorn, most likely. Might not be. I need to hear more. Chickadee and a blue jay walk into a bar. Annoying glitch. These look a little different. Typical woodpecker. Going to work. Something was really close to the microphone there. That was right on the microphone. This is a aircraft. This looks a little different. We're going to check that out. Oh, it's a known bird. I don't know what it is, but hear it all the time. Got some strangeness down here, and then this. Some kind of vehicle. And then a double knock. Those are good knocks. I'm going to zoom in. Check these out. 3, 4 times. I'm going to zoom in. Right here and here. This is some kind of a twig in the foreground. What's this? What is that? Now if I click and drag the main body, see that section there? Now I can just hit the space bar and only play that. Doesn't do a whole lot. Huh. Okay, to zoom back out. 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2. I want to keep it zoomed in a little bit more. Okay, when I'm zooming it, when I start hearing some suspicious stuff, I look a little tighter. So from this over here is 12:01:42 to 12:02:26. So about 45 seconds from left to right. That's pretty tight. I usually like to scan about 3 minutes from left to right on the x-axis. But now I've got this narrowed down to 45 seconds. Takes a lot longer to screen through, but you miss less. I heard some distant knocks. They're kind of interesting, so acorn. Again, these might not be acorns, these might all be authentic, but this is prime acorn season. September 1st. I'm screening quicker now because there's smaller files. And, oh, I gotta rewind there. I got some stuff here too. I missed something. Right here. These 3 little things down here. Get in the center of the screen for you there. Nothing. Got some here. There's a high altitude jet going overhead, of course, right in the nick of time. But this right here seems to be something more than an acorn. This taller one, I think, is an acorn. Hear that? And then these, I'm betting, are an acorn. Yeah, could be an acorn. Could be hefty though. Takes a long time for that jet to pass over. It's annoying. And here comes a Cessna. That's another high altitude jet. It's that time of day. Blue jay. Yeah, nothing. Another jet. Okay, I'm just looking at the bottom here now. Gonna get picky. that's a propeller-driven aircraft. That's probably a Cessna. Hear that? That's some wind. Only get some wind. Another thing I'm going to talk about. I do not record in the wind or rain. It just isn't worth it. So I rely on the National Weather Service quite a bit. But as soon as the sun comes out and starts warming the earth, start to get some natural wind. Hear that? Yeah, got some wind. We're getting blown out. Getting blown out. Getting close to the end. We're 13 hours in. This is typically longer than I usually like to make my files about between 8 and 12 hours. But this was from 9 o'clock till the end when I picked it up, and I didn't want to have to go 12 and then make another hour-long file. So I made it into 13. If you have a graphics card on your computer or laptop, you might be able to take these larger files like this. But this, I got a Toshiba E55. It's about 6 or 7 years old. And this is about as big a file as I could put into Audacity without crashing Audacity. Should say I have a Toshiba Satellite E55. If you want to compare the specs to see what you can expect. High altitude jet, glitch, and something right next to the recorder on the leaf litter below. More leaf litter. I don't know, that was something touching the recorder or the housing where it's hanging. Something on the leaf litter. This looks like some real nice and sharp like that. It's probably a really small crack next to the recorder. Oh, there's a lot of air traffic this time of day. It's a low-flying Cessna. Looks like a quad. Okay, when I look at these, especially since my last video with tactical masking, the way they mask their sounds, I'll look at it. This is a quad, and it's too loud to listen to. I don't want to do that to you. But this right here, I'm going to zoom into, or I'm going to start it right there and see what that is. That is suspicious. That is suspicious. See these little lines? That's a Cessna. It gets white down there. It's really intense amplitude of sound. As one loud aircraft. I believe this is me. Come to retrieve the recorder. And I think I let it sit out for 36 hours. This is the last file of that 36. I think this here is me closing the door. This is me walking in and grabbing it. It's me shutting the door. I like listening to this stuff in here because if there's going to be an alert, it's going to be when I'm walking in or just leaving. That was me shutting another door in the truck. You hear that? That could be an alert. It doesn't sound like something I'd make. You see, I'm still quite a ways off from walking into the woods. It's a little bit of a walk, so I don't know if this here is from me or not. I think that's an all clear alert, or a return alert, I call them. You'll start hearing my footsteps pretty soon. Glitch. There's something there other than the glitch. That's from me. Alright, that's going to be too loud to listen to, and that's about it. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing. Click on the bell to get notifications when I post a new video.